Everybody. Oh, is that started yet? Oh, welcome everybody. We're back again. Great to hope everybody's had a great week and hope everybody learned something this week. And this week we're going to do a little interview with Nichole Eddy from Coly's Creation, and we're going to ask her a few questions like how she got started, how she's dealing with last year's change in the new, and what she's doing to improve her business. So with that, here's Nichole, and she can tell you how she started, how and why she started her business.
Hey everyone. So let's see. Oh geez, like 6-7 years ago, it actually started from, we had a growing family and we just needed some extra income. I was a stay-at-home mom, and so I was trying to look at different opportunities. And then my husband had a health issue that came up. So he had a pre-existing condition, and with normal medical route, it actually would have made his health condition a lot worse. So he had to he had to change his whole lifestyle, and the way he ate, to the way what we were putting in our bodies. So we were trying to figure out how to afford all that. So then we noticed that soap and all of those products were really expensive. So, or they didn't have the ingredients that were healthy. So we started looking into creating our own soaps and things of that nature. So we made one thing and made another thing, and then everyone's like, hey, I'll buy some from you. So it just started turning into a business where we could create. So our tagline is, we make bath and body products with natural and organic ingredients with you in mind.
So yeah, great. So yeah, what I was going to ask you on that was, now we know the why. What are some of the struggles that you went through starting, and then with last year's situation?
So starting was finding the market to start selling in. So first part was at the chiropractor's office. They started doing like a little annual thing where they had like vendors that they used to people that they trusted with products. So started off there. So it's just like a little 6-foot table, and then it was just starting to put my look for craft shows and other health things of that nature. So then it turned into doing another show and another show, and then it was more word of mouth, like, hey, my friend makes these products, and it was creating a following and a tribe, to get people to buy your stuff and to create that brand of like, hey, you can trust me, my stuff is good, things like that. And it was creating an environment where people could come and see me, and that was really great. So then we went from a 6-foot table to now a 10x10 booth, or like even my best show, it's a 10x16 booth. Then it was dabbling with things with the internet, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to be on camera and stuff like that, because I'd rather be in person with everyone. So then with last year's issue on where you can't go see people, it was really hard for the first couple months of dealing with that, because then I had this idea. I'm like, oh, I'll go on Facebook Live and deal with people. But then it hit that isolation phase of like, oh, what do I do now? No one's really buying. I can't see anyone. I can't figure out what people want. So then I took a couple months off. I had to deal with my mental health with the isolation and anxiety with everything, and kind of got back to who I am and what I love. Really got back into gardening, started reading more books, listening to positive music, just to kind of get me back to a center. And then right around Halloween, I was like, okay, I have products that are Halloween centered. I'll go on and do videos. So we did a daily video of a product. In Christmas, I butchered the 12 days of Christmas. So that was fun. And just so everyone got to see the products. And then this year, transitioning into dealing with that, we continue to do the videos. Slowing them down a little more, going over specific ingredients, and just, trying to get in touch people, keeping people together that way. While things are maybe having that hope of getting back to doing shows, started looking at all my contracts and be like, okay, hey guys, are we still doing stuff? Yep. Here's my money. Let's get this going. Trying to keep that positive outlook on things.
Great. Now, when you started, you started your business, you started making soap, and then you started adding to it. But then you started doing the craft shows. And when you got to the craft show, that's a whole new learning experience. So, did you have any people that helped you or mentored you?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm a very anxiety shy introverted person. So it was really hard at first to go, hi, trying to make friends and network that way. So it was really nice to have some downtime between booths and going, hi, what do you do? And some people are really grumpy and you're like, okay, I'm going to avoid you. And so one of it is make friends with the coordinators, the people putting on the shows. They'll tell you about some really good shows. They'll also tell you about coordinators to avoid, because there's scams out there and they're like, hey, don't do them. They've got crappy shows. Or do their shows. They're amazing. They're fantastic people. So it was talking to different people. I met this great couple, Chip and Lori, and they do laser engraved jewelry and woodwork, and their stuff is absolutely amazing. I love their products, and they're great people. The fun part with Chip is he's a very blunt person. What you get is what you get with him. And so he's a little intimidating, but reading books and knowing that that's his personality type, I could totally deal with that because it's honesty. And he was always encouraging me, hey, you need to get into this show. Hey, you need to do this. And at first you're like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, do it. And he's encouraging me to do a show. Still a little hesitant about it, but he's like, do it. You're going to love it. And the reason I'm hesitating is because one of the biggest soap stores is in that city. And they have this huge event, but he keeps encouraging me to do that. And so he encouraged me to do this one show. And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, do it. So I did it. And they had no inside booths. They only had outside booths, and it's in October. So we could have the most beautiful day or snow in October. So he really helped with that show. So I had an outside booth. Weather was coming. And he's like, hey, do you know who the head coordinator is? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, go talk to her. She'll find you a place inside. So about 15 minutes before the show started and an hour before it started snowing, we got inside, and I kept thanking the coordinator so much on, thank you for getting me inside. After about the 50th time I told her thank you throughout the weekend, she's like, stop. Please stop thanking me. And it has to go with the integrity of yourself too. So I was like, man, I'd love to get into the main big hall. And so she's like, well, write it on your sheet, because, well, first of all, we can only book you for your tent for next year. And I said, great. And then the next thing we could book you in the spot we had you in. Then we can maybe look at you getting in the main hall. But probably between my attitude and the spaces that got opened, I got into the main hall the next year. And the funny part was I was sitting there, in line to register, everyone in front of me is like, well, if I don't get in the main hall, I'm not going to come next year. And this whole negative attitude where it was like, hi, here's my app. Thank you for getting me in. And if I can get into the main hall, I would really appreciate that. So it's just always finding people that are like-minded, or even sitting back, like, I might not like your stuff, but you have like 100 people coming into your booth. You're making all these sales. What are you doing? And where, asking them questions or seeing how their layout is and all those things of that nature.
So in other words, you were talking to people that were successful in their business, but you're still in the same arena. So yeah. That would help you. It's sort of like a mentorship program, but yet it's just asking questions and learning.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've learned too, is always ask questions and always talk to new people to get new contacts.
Yes.
Because you'll weed them out as you go.
Yeah. And there's either other soaper vendors there too. And you'll find out really quickly how you guys are different. And that's a very powerful thing. And so I have actually really two very good soap vendor friends now from this, and we pick each other's brains on like, hey, how did you do this, or why did you do this? To when we see each other at shows, like one show, there's a lady that does cold process, and I do hot process. And if you want to know more stuff, please go check out my stuff. I'm doing constant videos on why I do what I do, and but she really hits skincare issues. Like she has this whole soap on eczema. And so I had someone come into my booth going, hey, do you have anything about eczema? And I'm like, no, but you go see this lady down the way. She'll help you. And then she had the same thing where her products are very natural, bare bones. And she'll say they're not pretty soaps. And someone's like, well, I need it for a gift. And well, you know what? Nicole's got great stuff. You go see her down that way. And then there's another lady that I see her at other couple shows too. She does the glycerin soaps, and she came up to me before a show and she's like, hey, there's this old guy that always comes and he always looks for my sugar scrubs and he might get confused. And I said, no. First of all, I don't do sugar scrubs, and not a problem. And you'll see, like, we actually can see each other at the events, and all of a sudden she's just like, and see that lady there? Yeah, she's got something that'll help you. And I do the same thing, like, hey, you're not finding it, go see her, she's got good stuff. But then it's really funny when you've got another soaper there that doesn't want to work with anyone. They're just, and you're like, hey, what do you, get out of my booth, the kind of thing. You're like, okay, then we're just gonna, you don't network then that way either. And so even though we are competition, we have that attitude of, we want to help the customer. So I might not have what you want, vice versa. And at the end of the day, we're just there to help the customer. Where when you have someone that's very closed off, it shows that they're only in it from themselves and they really don't want to help the customer or the entire show even.
Yeah. They only want to be self-centered. And we've learned over the years is build your success on the success of others and work as a team. And your attitude is everything.
Yeah.
In any business. And if you're out there, I know there's some people watching this. I've gotten some comments and calls and different questions. And one of them was, how do we deal with the new? And I'm going to talk just a little bit on that. Is if you're just starting a business, let's say end of 2020 or just starting 2021 January, one thing you want to learn your social networking. You want to use your different social networks, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what all there. I know there's a bunch of them now. There's MeWe. There's just so many I don't even know. But use those. Use your contacts on your phone. Let them know you started a business. Don't be shy about it. Even if you're starting in a different area where you're not where you didn't grow up or whatever, get out and whenever you can, whether it's if you're going to volunteer somewhere, just to get around some people and start networking as fast as you can. Put out little Facebook Live like what we're doing here. YouTube, you want to do YouTube or different. There's, like I say, use all the social networks, but get your name out there and get, maybe you could have like what we're doing here, bringing somebody in to add to, and all I'm doing is trying to help entrepreneurs get started. You notice I'm not selling anything. I'm not promoting like you got to buy from Nichole, because we're going to have other entrepreneurs from other businesses. Hopefully we're going to have one that just got started last year really and doing real well. And then I'm going to bring in another gentleman, a good friend of mine. He owns 3 businesses and very, very successful. And we'll talk about that. But what I'm saying is you have to go with the change. And even me, I'm learning with my other business, one of my businesses, that I have to go with the change of really, really using the internet and really using your contacts that you have on your phone. We used to always say make a contact list, but you don't have to anymore. So with that, I know Nicole's had a lot of, she had some success in December. I'm going to let her talk about that because she started changing her process.
So yeah, I like seeing people because I can actually mirror people really well. So like what at shows we had, like if a little lady came in and she's like, hi, can you help me? I would mirror that going, hi, yeah, what are you looking for? And other times we'd have people coming in going, bath bombs. And I'm like, yeah, aren't they awesome? And it's really hard when you don't have that rapport going. So in December, when we did the 12 days of Christmas, I made a complete and absolute fool of myself, and it was a lot of fun. But we focused on one product through the 12 days of Christmas. And I was like, well, if I get any sales out of it, I get any sales out of it. And so all of a sudden my friends were like, hey, wait, we need to shop local. So my friends all of a sudden, and this is where it's really good to even just be like, I told everyone, I don't care if you buy my products, but can you just share the crap out of my videos, please? You know, just share them, like them, comment on them. As long as they're positive comments, I really don't care what you're saying. So I have people like, you changed your hair. You're so beautiful. I'm like, okay, thanks. But I appreciate it because at least it was a comment in a positive way. And so had several people buy, and then it was like, one of my friends got sick, so I helped go in and watch their kids. So then I had my little elves waving their hands and stuff and handing me products. It was a lot of fun. But then when their grandma came over, she's like, hey, I forgot you do this. So can I buy stuff? And then it was through contacts from the farmers market I do. They were liking and sharing. And then a lady that was friends of them ended up buying a huge order. So my sales in January, between just pleading with people going, hey, like and share, please, or buy.
December.
In December, yeah, sorry, December. It was December. Sales were up 259%.
So that's awesome.
From the year before. So It was insane.
So that's what I'm saying. It's that the fear of getting over stuff, the fear of change, the fear of the unknown. But like I say, with social networking now, it's a business. If you look at M-commerce, in 2017, it was 34.5% of the people were buying off the internet, and that's only a little over 3 years ago. And now in 2020, because of all the change, people are using the internet not just to buy, because it's up to about 65%, and that was figures in like October. That had November, December, it hadn't got put in yet. So it's probably around 68% of people shopping social. So not only they're shopping, but now they're saying, oh, this is kind of comfortable. So they're researching and looking for stuff. Let's say you're into like I talk a lot about health. So if you're into health, you'll be researching health. Well, maybe you need a new chiropractor. Maybe you need a new let's see,
healthy soap.
Healthy soap. Maybe you need a new anything into health. That's you're into natural health or just things that. So now you're searching the internet. Well, and we suggest shop local. Like I say, so find a new like say find your local soaper, find your local chiropractor, find your local whatever it is for you. Nutritionist, that's the word I was trying to think. Because I know last year Linda got in contact, my wife got in contact with a nutritionist, a nurse practitioner. So like I say, we're always searching. And that's why if you're new and getting started, make sure you use your social influence and get, like Nichole talked about, get branded and just, like I say, spread it out there as fast as you can and use every contact you can think that's available, even if it's somebody that's far away, because the internet now is, it's just, that's the new social, for at least for a while yet. So like I say, if you're starting a new business, use every contact and ask people, even if they're friends, hey, do you know somebody that does this? Or you know somebody over here? Do you know somebody in this town? And use that for as much influence as you can, because you have influence with people. I don't care who you are. So that's something I'm going to suggest. And if you got anything to add on there, we're going to finish up here. So
probably a little bit with some like goals. Because like right now, I know January, you kind of got to learn your market a little bit. I know January and February, just across the board, no matter what year it is, it sucks for me because everyone spent money on Christmas stuff, and I'll still get my orders for like deodorants or something like that. And I appreciate that. I'm very grateful and thankful for that. But I know my bread and butter for the year is between late September to Christmas, and don't get discouraged by when you don't have a sale, but figure out why and what you did. I always say go back and review. Because like with the shows, it was I made a whole spreadsheet on how much did this cost, how much did I make, to what was the weather. And it's really funny because if the weather's too perfect, no one shows up. And if it's crap forecast and we're outside, it's not going to do good either. So I don't always judge a show based on one thing. I base it on a ton of things. And and sometimes I'll write in the show like, okay, made no sales, but made 15 new contacts.
Yes.
So why did the show not do good? Oh, because we had 3 inches of snow. Something like that. So it's like, will I go back to that show? Yeah, I'll probably try it one more time because that was all based on weather and something out of my control. Where I went to another show, did no sales because there was 10 soapers. They didn't market it right. It wasn't cost effective. And it's like, I'm not going back anymore. Yeah. So it's just always having a goal set and then going back and reviewing your goals on either why you hit it out of the park or why didn't you hit it. And it's not always you, but you have to figure out how to work around those obstacles. Kind of like we're saying, start getting on social media, start making more contacts, and look to the future. Like I sat down with my calendar yesterday and I went, I'm booking all my shows. Whether I've got a contract or not on it, I know that's about when that show is. Let's fill up my calendar so when the contract does come out, and working with that mindset, when that contract comes out, I'm ready for it.
Right, with a positive mindset, absolutely. So if you have any questions specifically, and you can contact Nichole on her website. That's
Coly'sCreations.com.
Yeah. And but if you have any questions on entrepreneur specifics and you're friends with me on Facebook, or if you want to put in the comment, like I say, if you're embarrassed about asking a question, maybe just friend me on Facebook and I'll message you back. So it's private messaging and that. Whatever we can do to help you, that's the biggest thing now. Is 2021 is a great year starting out for us, and we're excited about the new year. Even the changes happen, but take advantage, because whenever, and I've learned this over the years, I've been around a long time in business. Over the years, whenever there's a situation or a problem, there's always a solution. And there's always success. Most people will focus on the problem, but they don't focus on the solution. They don't focus on the opportunity. When there's problems, there's opportunity. And like I said in one of the videos we did earlier, is there was thousands of entrepreneurs last year on one product, and that was a mask. And that it just excited me so much to see that people were thinking outside of the box, thinking about yourself, about what you can do to create your lifestyle, whatever you want to do. So with that, we're going to finish up here. You guys have a great week, and we will see you next week. God bless. Bye-bye.